Darkness Falls starts with a very detailed story about the wrongfully accused Matilda Dixon, the Tooth Fairy of Darkness Falls. Whenever a child lost a tooth, they would bring it to her in exchange for a gold coin. When Matilda was disfigured in a house fire, her face became extremely sensitive to light, so she wore a porcelain mask and only came out at night. When 2 children went missing, they blamed Matilda, who put a curse on them before the townspeople killed her. Shortly after, the 2 missing children returned unharmed. The guilty town buried their secret of murdering an innocent woman, and the legend of the Tooth Fairy is said to target children to this day when they lose their last baby tooth. Cut to 2 friends, Kyle and Caitlin. Kyle just lost his last baby tooth and is almost killed by the Tooth Fairy. She can only get you in the dark, and he manages to survive. It gets his mother, and now everyone thinks he did it. 12 years later, Caitlin's little brother Michael is experiencing encounters with the Tooth Fairy. She contacts Kyle, now heavily medicated and carrying around a bag full of flashlights, asking him how he got over what the doctors diagnosed as night terrors. It's ultimately a story about Kyle returning to face his fears and help Caitlin's little brother. It's also satisfying when the whole town, who thinks he's crazy, sees he was right all along. There are lots of cool scenes playing with the dynamics of light and dark as they try escaping the Tooth Fairy. The cinematography is excellent because it's a dark movie, but not too dark. It's filmed really well, as everything can still be seen. Darkness Falls reminds me a lot of the game Alan Wake. I played and finished it on the Xbox 360, and I didn't really care for it all that much, to be honest, and it's one of the rare cases I actually sold a game. Anyway, back on topic. The game did come to mind though when watching Darkness Falls. The cinematic score and sound design for the Tooth Fairy are done quite well and deserve a mention. The practical effects are excellent as well. The big silicone Tooth Fairy puppet is convincing and disgusting. I like the stories of Matilda and Kyle. The director seems to be very good when it comes to back and side stories, as he also directed the short film Rings, loosely connecting the first 2 Ring films. I do have a beef with the whole Tooth Fairy encounters. It doesn't seem the town is covering up the Matilda Dixon incident anymore. They just don't believe it. But wouldn't an attack happen to every child losing their last baby tooth? That would be some extreme levels of denial unknown to mankind. One of the cops even brushes Kyle off when he guesses correctly about the increased cases of missing children. What about the guy who attacks Kyle in the bar, thinking Kyle killed his own mother? What about his old friends, asking him to help Michael? If they all grew up there, wouldn't the same thing have happened to them? It doesn't make sense. I would have liked to have seen some kind of redemption for the wrongfully accused Matilda Dixon, like the light setting her spirit free, or maybe a proper monument or tombstone so the tortured soul can rest in peace. Caitlin reads a storybook stating the brightest light will spell her doom and set free her wicked soul. But Kyle just calls her a bitch, punches her, and she explodes. For me, the backstory ties everything together, yet that side of the story feels unresolved. Overall, Darkness Falls isn't trying to be a masterpiece, but not a campy, throwaway horror film either. Though with multiple cheap jump scares, some bad acting, screeching ghosts, and characters making questionable decisions, it does at times feel like one.